Hey guys, King of Charman is here, and today I bring you a video on the best trading materials for Zenny and storage management guide. So this video is a guide for the feature that allows you to trade materials for Zenny. This is exciting as now you can get something instead of nothing. For the longest time y'all have been wanting it and asking for it, and it's finally here. And this is exciting as now you can get something instead of nothing because we sent tens of thousands of materials to the Shadow Realm.
I hear the Shadow Realm's lovely this time of year. Let's find out if it's true!
Ah yes, the Shadow Realm is lovely, however we're not doing that anymore, as we now have a feature that is called Offload Materials, which gives us Zenny for our materials now. Let's go! Alright, let's jump right into it. Here's how to access the Offload Materials menu. Step 1, tap on your character icon. Step 2, tap on your item box. And then we have step 3, where you tap on the Zenny icon next to sort. I know it's pretty small, but just tap on it. And you can also access this screen when materials are full. So when your materials are full, you'll get that notification, and then it will give you a notification to prompt you to offload your materials. Next up, we have the material exchange rate. So materials are worth more the higher the rarity. Rarity 1s will give you 5 Zenny. Rarity 2s will give you 10 Zenny. Rarity 3s will give you 20 Zenny. Rarity 4 will give you 50 Zenny. Rarity 5s will give you 100 Zenny. And Rarity 6s will give you 500 Zenny. You can also sell event exclusive items like tickets, so you're not just limited to regular monster parts. As you see right here, I can sell my Lucky Lunar New Year tickets. And now the moment you've been waiting for. Well, not really. The step-by-step guide on how to offload materials. Step 1. You can tap the 0 to manually enter the amount of materials you want to sell. This is the easiest way. As you see right here, tap the 0, manually enter your number, and then you can do that. Or you can tap the plus sign to add 1 and tap the minus sign to subtract 1. This is the slowest way. Don't do that. Just do the first one, tap on the 0, enter your value, and poof, you can sell that way. Next, you have step 2, which is review the materials you are selling and tap confirm. This is just to confirm the amount you are selling, and it will show you the amount of Zenny you will earn after you hit confirm. And that will lead us to the final step, which is step 3. You will see a notification that indicates your materials were sold. So, after steps 1 and 2, you should see step 3, and as you see, there's a value of Zenny right here since I sold these materials. Here's a note though, if you try to sell a Rarity 4 or higher material, you will get a warning screen to confirm again. And here's an additional note. You can sort by type, which is the monster type, item count, and rarity. If it makes it easier for you to sort anything out, you can use these. And now we're moving on to inventory management. Here's a guide of what you should keep, etc. Starting off with materials you should never offload. First, we have Rarity 6 materials. You only get 500 Zenny for them. They're the rarest materials in the game, so there's no reason to sell them. Materials for the monster types you're building for right now or in the future. For example, for you beginners, if you're going after Focus 5 gear, you should always save those materials that you're building for now in the future, like your main builds, like I mentioned, Focus 5. If you are going to build it in the future, or if you're building it right now, do not sell it. And lastly, Rarity 3 materials from gathering nodes. Carpenter Bugs, Monster Bone Plus, Monster Bone Large, Dragonite Ore, and Earth Crystals. These are really rare, especially if you're a rule player, you don't have a lot of gathering nodes, you do not want to sell these. Never sell them. Keep in your inventory because you're definitely going to need them in the future. Oh wait, did I say lastly? No, I mean one more thing. Also, you should never do this. Don't ever trash your refining parts. You only get once of these a day, and if you spend them wisely, you're not going to run out of them anytime soon, especially if you're really smart about them. Again, don't ever trash these. They're totally worth it. Keep them, hoard them as much as you want, because you'll never know when you need them later. Next up, we have materials you want to think hard before you offload. So it's not that you should never sell these, it's you'll want to think really hard before you do it. Starting off with subspecies materials, Black Diablos, Pink Rathian, etc. This is self-explanatory. If it's a subspecies, you're not going to see a lot of them, so really think hard before you sell these. Speaking of hard to encounter monsters, we have materials from major update boss monsters like Zinogre and Devil Joe. You can only get Zinogre in hats right now, except for events in the future, and Devil Joe for invasions, unless it's an event in the future like I mentioned. So because these are rare, do not delete them, or rather think really hard before you do. Next, we have rarity 2, 3, 4, and 5 materials from one biome monsters. These are Legiana, Gyrotodus, Diablos, etc. You can only find these monsters in one biome. A lot of you are really using your tracker to make sure you get these, so these are ones you want to think really hard about before you offload them. And last are Dragonfell Berries, which are the rarity 1 material to upgrade dragon elemental weapons. You should really think about it before you delete these because they're kind of hard to get in comparison to all the other elemental rarity ones. So think hard. If you're not investing right now, you don't need them. But if you're building Devil Joe weapons in the future or future dragon weapons, you might want to keep them. Next up, we have materials you should consider offloading. So you don't really have to think too hard about this, but take them into consideration. Materials of monsters that show up in 2 biomes. Here's an example. Odogaron, who appears in deserts and swamps. Since you can see these in 2 biomes, you don't really have to think about them as hard as you would with the 1 biome. In addition, remember those rarity 1 materials I mentioned before about elements? Well, rarity 1 elemental materials of elements you aren't focusing on right now, which are fire herbs, snow herbs, sleep herbs, etc. You're gonna get a lot of these. If you're not focusing on this element or don't plan to build it in the future, you can go ahead and offload them as you're gonna get more later on. In addition, tickets from events that you don't plan on using. So event items will give you things like tickets, etc. Well, you can actually sell them and get Zenny back for them. So consider offloading them just because they take up dead space in your inventory if you're not using them to upgrade anything. And last but not least, we have materials you can offload without worrying too much. Don't sweat these, you can get them back pretty quickly. And these are materials from monsters that appear in all 3 biomes. Great Jagras, Kuluyaku, and Puke Puke are just some examples. However, here's a note. Puke is actually pretty good for its poison weapons, so if you're building them, keep those materials. Again, out of these 3, Puke Puke is the most useful one. So, Puke Puke, if you're building your Puke weapon, keep those materials, and you can offload the rest. And we also have rarity 1 materials, which are the iron ore and monster bone smalls. You get plenty of these or can restock easy. So whenever you're hitting up those nodes, you're going to get a lot of these, or your palico is going to come out and be like, hey, I brought you present, and present has lots of stuff. A lot of those are going to be iron ores and monster bone smalls. So you can get rid of these if you overload on them and you get too many. Moving forward, here's the weapon cost of materials and Zenny from New Forge to grade 6, grade 8, and grade 10. So use mhn.quest. I'm going to put the description, the video link. Thank you, Sammy, for making this website to measure what materials you need in the future. Great tool, again, to measure what you need and plan ahead. Here are a few references you can use to see how many materials it takes to upgrade weapons to a certain point. I have 6, 8, and 10 right here. As you see, it's a lot of materials as well as Zenny. So if you're looking to plan ahead, etc., or you're wondering what you need next, use mhn.quest and look at these charts, write down what you need. If you don't buy storage expansion, or if you just are really cheap and don't really want to deal with that nonsense, then you can use this website to predict what you need so that you can upgrade your weapons and armor. This should give you a rough estimate of what to keep if you're considering building anything. So if you're building anything, keep these rough estimates and hopefully it helps you out. Hopefully this video helps you out with what materials to sell for Zenny. This update has been long requested, and this will help with Zenny for future weapons and armor upgrades, especially for those of you beginner players or that are just starting really recently, because, you know, the only place you could really get Zenny is from like quests and whatnot, dailies, hunting monsters, of course. But now this is just an extra thing, because for those of us that have been playing for a while and haven't had this feature, we probably dumped hundreds and thousands of worth of Zennies, if not millions for some of you players. So this is totally awesome, and we're glad it's here. With that being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Hopefully you're getting all that Zenny you need from trading your monster materials, and this helps you with your storage management as well. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.